Hey guys, Kristin here. So last week I talked a little bit about what's going on in Phoenix real estate, just a nutshell version. One of the big things I wanted to emphasize was that we are overdue for some recessionary action in our economy. Now I don't want to be a gloom and doomer, it's just statistics. Every 5 years or so we have one, and we're about 7.5 years into a growth period now, so let's not be dumb. Let's just say, okay, it's time to tighten up the belt. So you might be thinking, I wanted to buy a house this year. The number one reason to buy a house is not, it's not a recession. Yeah, there's actually some very good reasons to buy now. Number one being that interest rates are still really, really low. Even in the fours, they're still historically low. They may not be this low again as they start to rise up to normal rates. So it would be a good time to take advantage of that if you can. Also, Phoenix home prices are still really affordable. If you look at the median income versus the median home price, they match up pretty well. So it's a good time to buy, but you might want to buy smart. And here's some tips to help you do that. The budget. It's not a sexy idea to live within a budget, but it sure does make you feel good at the end of the month when you've got a few extra dollars to put away. I've worked with a number of buyers over the years that came to me and said, look, Kristin, we want to buy a house, but this is our budget. We cannot spend more than this. And sometimes it was really challenging to find them a house that would meet their needs within that budget. Sure, they had to give up maybe the dream home mentality. Oh, we want a pool, we want the 3-car garage, we want the whole dialed-in kitchen and all that stuff. But they ended up in a great home that they really love with a payment that's very manageable. Experts say you should spend 30% or less of your take-home pay on your housing expenses. If you can stay within that budget, trust me, you're gonna sleep a lot better at night. Next, right size your house. Okay, I know that moving sucks. Nobody wants to move, but it is impossible to think of everything you're gonna need in a house the rest of your life. Things change over time. So think in terms of a 5 to 7 year window. That's typically how long people stay in a home anyways. And after 5 to 7 years, if you do need to move, you're probably gonna have enough equity to be able to cash out of this house and move to the next one that's gonna meet your needs for that time. It's way less stressful than trying to think of everything that's ever gonna happen in your life all in one house. It's crazy. And good for you if you do end up staying in the same house for the rest of your life. Location, location, location. It is not just a cliche. It is like one of the most important things when you're choosing a home. And when you're talking about in terms of a recessionary period where there's a chance that things are going to slow down, you want to pick a home that is less likely to be impacted by that. Back in the Great Recession, when house prices were tanking, there was a clear distinction between houses in the boonies and houses in town in the more popular areas. The houses in the boonies took a lot faster and deeper dive and took a longer time to recover than those that were in town and maintained some of their values. Yes, you might be able to get a bigger house if you move out to the sticks, but people like living close to things. They like living close to shopping and their jobs and schools. They just do. Nobody wants to drive 20 minutes to get a gallon of milk. It gets old really, really fast. Also, just look around and see, does the neighborhood look like it's going up or down? As you're looking around, research those locations. You can tell neighborhoods where the houses are all, kept up, the yards are nice, all the stores around them are opening, not closing. Those are good signs. And when you see a neighborhood that's economically sound and conveniently located, that's probably going to be a better buy than being a bigger house in an area where that's not the case. Now, a lot of people think to themselves, hey, I am all into the whole sweat equity thing. I can fix up a house. I have had a lot of conversations with buyers who say, we could move this wall here, we could gut this kitchen, we could add on a room. All those things are awesome on TV. In reality, it takes a lot more time and a lot more money than you ever plan on. So unless you're a professional, fix and flipper type person, it usually doesn't go quite the way you think. If you're interested in doing something like a sweat equity type of deal, be realistic about what you can really accommodate given your lifestyle and your budget. And remember, in a slowing economy, the budget might be a little bit constricted, and so that might be hard to get those projects done. When you're thinking about buying a home, think about the idea of paying it off. Now, I just said you're probably not going to stay there 30 years. You're probably going to move at 5 to 7 years. But when you move, take the equity out of this house and put it into the next house. Always increase that equity gain over time. The idea being that eventually you'll have a paid off home and you won't have a house payment at all. That's really recession proof. Building equity in the home is one of the main reasons why homeowners historically in this country have more wealth than renters. They just do. Paying a mortgage is like a forced savings program, and it's actually kind of cool savings program because it's money they're going to spend anyways, and it's compounded by the fact that the value of your home is going to go up historically over time. So it's a great way to build a little nest egg, unless you cash out of it, unless you spend that money to pay off credit cards so that you're actually spending now 30 years paying off that great pair of shoes that you just had to have. Don't be afraid right now to buy a home. There's really a lot of good reasons to do it, as long as it makes sense for your particular situation. If you want to talk more about it, hey, you know where to find me, KristinHereInPhoenix.com, that's where. Go out there, make it a fantastic day.